another episode of Kickin It with Kendra, presented to you by Victory Rings. Excellence is the standard. I'm now joined by Utah Tech place kicker Connor Brooksby, who is the UAC Special Teams Player of the Week. Connor, it's great to have you here, and congratulations on winning that honor. Want to talk about your last game where you were able to go 3 for 3, and you tied your own school record with a 55-yard field goal. Walk me through the mentality heading into last matchup and how you were able to, be able to knock out a 55-yard field goal.
So that was a good game. The mentality that I try to have every week is just joy and gratitude. I always focus on it being a good day and making it a good day no matter what the circumstance was. That game was a little windy, and with wind you can kind of sit there and be negative, or you can have these negative thoughts, but I focus on making it, everything was to my advantage no matter what, and it was a good game and just positivity, always going out there being positive.
I love that. And, as a place kicker, you get put in some crazy situations where the game can be on your back. How do you remain calm in those situations? Is there something, a phrase or anything that you lean on specifically moments before you're about to take the kick?
I'm kind of just clear thoughts. I don't really think that much before I go out and take that kick. Coach Hall, he's got a saying, consistency, rhythm, and routine, and make routine plays routinely. We train, all practice, and every single kick, you kind of put yourself in a mentality, even in practice, that it's a game-winning kick. So when you go out there for those pressure field goals, you're just making that routine play routinely, consistency, rhythm, and routine. That's what you're focusing on, and just clear mind.
What I love, last year, you broke the Utah Tech single season record for field goals made, 14 for 17. And you also hit a 55-yard, which now that you're in the UAC, that is the record for the longest field goal in the conference right now. What has kind of led to your success over the years at Utah Tech? Just being able to come in and be consistent each and every time that you're up.
First of all, it's been amazing to have great snappers and holders. My snapper this year, Ryan Keene, he's been phenomenal. Andy Day with the holds, he's been phenomenal. I've had him for a few years. So they have been a huge part, as well as the line, everyone blocking for me. Every single one of those balls would be blocked if they didn't do their job. So my percentages and my consistency kind of is because of everyone else who helps me with that. And then also just the mentality and the trust that the coaches have in me, and the positive manner that they are towards me doing well. They give me the opportunities, and every time I go out there, it's positive. And if I don't make it, if I miss a kick, I come off and I'm getting high fives, and everyone's positive, and the team really kind of helps me stay good mentally no matter what happens. So that's why I say I have success here.
And, when you guys are at practice, a lot of stuff that you guys do is a little bit different than what the other football players do, because you guys are constantly in different situations. What are some of the things that you really work on in practice, and maybe some drills that have helped you have such success?
One of my favorite drills that I love is kind of an angle drill. I kick from the sideline through the uprights. So I make the uprights, if you look at them straight on here, they're like this, but then I kind of kick from an angle, and so they're a lot more narrow. Coach Hall, we also talk aim small, miss small. As I aim for those, skinnier uprights, and I get more consistent on that, then as I'm in a game and the uprights look really wide, aim small, miss small, put it through the uprights. So that angle drill is really beneficial to me. And then I also work a lot of line drills, just kicking down a straight line. We kind of have limited field space sometimes, and so you just get to come up with these creative drills. The other day we were kicking up into the bleachers, and so the ball would roll back down to us, and you just kind of, you have fun as a specialist, but you also make sure that everything you're doing has a purpose and a reason so that you're productive.
This week, you guys take on Abilene Christian. Their kicker, Kyle Ramsey, holds the second longest in the UAC at 54 yards. So it's a battle of the two longest kickers in the UAC right now. Has that been any sort of conversation between, in the special teams locker room, as it's kind of a battle between you two guys?
No, not really. I mean, when you go out there, you're not necessarily, I mean, it's a battle between the two teams, and you just hope success upon, all the specialists, because you know how it is upon it, being a kicker. However, if he's out there for a game when he kick, I hope he misses a kick just because I want to win. But I also, I respect him. He's a stud, and I think he's 100% on the year, if I remember his stats right or something. He's got a high percentage. He's a good kid. Seems like he's got a big leg too. So we'll see what the game brings. Those opportunities are rare. Everything kind of has to fall your way for you to go hit a long field goal. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It'll be a good game. So
yeah, I know those aren't always the storylines that the players are focused on, but as the broadcasters, we look at those and we're like, oh my goodness, the battle of 54 and 55, and really exciting. So, but a little bit about your journey personally. I mean, your parents, your dad played baseball, your mom played basketball and volleyball. So kind of growing up in a sports household, how did that influence, you wanting to play football and play at the Division I level, and just the mentality of being around, athletes that know what it takes to get to the next level and play at that high level?
yeah, I grew up in a very competitive household. We would play soccer every Sunday in our front yard, up when we lived up in Logan. And I have, my sister, she played Division I soccer at Utah State and then went on and played pro. And then my brother, he was on the Real development team and also played college soccer down here when it was previously Dixie State. And then my parents were both athletes. All of my siblings, I think all of us started 4 years at varsity sports. All 6 of us, we have 6 in our family, true 4-year starters at a sport in high school. And so competition between us is, we thrive in it. And playing soccer in my early days, that kind of is what got me kicking. And then my first down ever playing football was my freshman year. I was opening kickoff for the Pineview Panthers, varsity season as a true freshman. And that was the first down I had ever played football. Hit the kickoff and ran off the field. And, right then I was in love with the game and just kept going. And then from there, all through high school, I had some pretty good success at Pineview, and just decided that I was going to take it to the next level and keep kicking and see how far I can go with it.
I know you had other offers when you were leaving high school to play at different schools. What made Utah Tech the perfect place, and being able to stay there your entire career as well?
Yeah, so I had other offers. I went on a mission with my church, and I came home. I had torn my ACL, and when I came back, I was talking to some of those schools, and I looked at it as I could go to a big school, and I could maybe sit for a year or two and kick. And I looked at Utah Tech, and I was like, you know what, I can come here and I can really thrive. It's also home for me. My family's from here and we live here, and so it made it a lot more reasonable to stay here. And then also at the time, Coach Foss was here and Coach Peterson, and I really love, all the coaching staff here. And so they got me here, and I've just loved every second of it. I love Utah Tech, and St. George, it's home for me. So I don't plan on going anywhere for sure. So
with the opportunity to play, at home, how often are your family members in the stands cheering you on in some of these big moments and big time games?
All the time. They're always there. My family, my mom and dad, they're great. They travel to most of our away games too. I think this is the first away game this season that they're not going to be able to make it to here in Texas because of flights, but they make it to basically every game, and I can always plan on them cheering. They're a huge reason, that I also see success. It's kind of my support system. I have an amazing wife. I'm married, and Maya does amazing, and she always keeps me positive. She's always sending me, texts and positive notes. All my family is, and every time I look up into the stands, I kind of point to them after a kick. So I'll look up there, point to them, and they're cheering for me. So they're great. They're everything I need. So, yep.
Now, when they're watching you, because I love the videos when you watch some of the professional sports, they'll flash to the parents, like especially in gymnastics. I think they showed Simone Biles' parents how nervous they are. Are your parents like that when you go up for a kick? Are they like, can they watch even, or how do they handle the nerves of watching you?
So my parents, I think my mom does really well. My dad gets a little nervous sometimes, and he likes to pace. And so what I'll actually see him walking around the field and stuff. And so it's kind of funny. I can see him pacing up and down the field. But and that's kind of when the game's coming down to you can tell when a game's coming down to a kick. as a kicker, you're preparing yourself, and it's always funny because they know it too. And you see them just get nervous. My dad will get up and start walking around and pacing, but my mom's always sitting there and she seems confident. I know they're confident in me, so it's just fun to watch.
Lastly, do you have any sort of pre-game rituals that you have to do? Are you a superstitious guy? I know you're on the road, so it kind of changes up that usual routine that you guys have, but anything specific that you need to do before a match or game?
No, I've got a few things that I do. I always sit at when we have our team dinner before the game. I sit there and I watch film. I watch some of my best kicks, whether that be from last year or previous games this season, and it just kind of helps build confidence. And I watch those kicks, and then when I get to the stadium, I actually put my headphones on and I listen to church music, hymns, and it's just instrumental piano music basically that's kind of calming. And I'm out there, it's just me and the ball and the uprights and kicking, getting ready for the game, and from there we're rolling smooth. So that's kind of my pregame routine.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you spending some time with us. Wishing you the best of luck this weekend. Utah Tech plays Abilene Christian at 2 p.m. Central Time. You can watch that on ESPN Plus. That was Connor Brooksby, Utah Tech place kicker. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.